Hey friends, we are on lesson 113. Go ahead and pull out lesson 113 and we'll get started. The first direction says draw a 3 3/4 inch line segment. So we're going to the inches side, 3 3/4 inches. So we put the dot on the first measuring mark, and here's 3. And remember, on most rulers, there are some lines that are a little longer and some lines that are a little shorter. The second longest lines are probably a 1/2 inch lines. And then halfway in between the whole inch and the 1/2 inch lines are 1/4 inch lines or 1/4 inch, okay? So we have 1/4, 2/4, which is the 1/2, 3/4, and then 4/4 is the next inch. So we're looking for 3 3/4 and connect them. And then the next one says draw a 93 millimeter line segment. So we go to the centimeter side, the metric side, 93 millimeter. So remember, there's 10 millimeters in every centimeter. So 9 centimeters is 90 millimeters. And then we go another 1, 2, 3 little dots. There we go. My sister is 8 years older than I. I'm 14 years old. How old is my sister? So who's older? Who's going to have the bigger age number? My sister is 8 years older. I am 14. So the sister's going to have the larger number. I am 14. I have the smaller number. And the difference is how many years? 8 years. So 14 plus 8 years is going to be this number, right? So let's write that down. 14 plus 8, these two together, is going to equal this. 14 plus 8 is 22. So my sister is 22 what? If we're talking about somebody's age, 22 years old. Years would be fine, or years old is normally how we would say it. Number 2. Okay, we're getting into some graph work. By the way, make sure you have a pencil in your hand and you're writing all these things down as we go too. Everything I write down, you should write down. 14 children voted for chocolate. So 14 chocolate. 5 children voted for strawberry, 5 strawberry. And 10 children voted for vanilla. So we're going to fill in our chart that says favorite ice cream for the title. And we have chocolate, then vanilla, then strawberry. Now they won't always give you the information in the right order. You have to make sure you put it in the right row. So the first one we're going to do is 14 chocolate. Now, as you can see, we don't have numbers on here to know where to draw the line to. So let's see if there's 14 boxes before we start coloring. Is 14 the biggest number? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Problem. There's only 8 boxes across. So we're going to assume 0 is that first line. And we're going to count by 2s. So if we count each of these boxes as 2, let's see if we have room. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. That was the biggest number, 14, because this is 5 and 10. So we will have enough room if we count by 2s. Let's do that. We need to finish our graph. And I'm putting the numbers right on the lines, not in between the lines, so that I know that this line is 8. Okay? 9, oops, no. 10, 12, 14, and then the last line is going to be 16. Almost screwed that one up. Okay, so 14 children voted for chocolate. Now we can fill it in. So we can go all the way to the 14 line. Make sure you draw a nice bold line where you want your shading to stop. And then you can go back and shade it in, and you can be a little more messy as long as you have that nice line there. If you don't have that nice line there and you're super messy and stretching out into this or hardly filling in this one, I can't mark that right. So get that line on there. 5 children voted for strawberry, so we don't have a 5 on here. Oh, and also notice they gave it to you in the wrong order, so we're going to go down here to strawberry. We're going to go a little more than 4, a little less than 6. We're going to go halfway between and draw a nice line again. And 5 voted for strawberry. And then 10 voted for vanilla. So we're going to go back up here to vanilla, and 10 is right here. And we're going to fill that in. Draw a graph to show how many children voted for each flavor. Number the graph by 2s. Oh, they told us to do that and I didn't even notice. So, here's your lesson. Read your directions and you won't have to do quite so much thinking. How many children voted? Well, we have to count all together. 14 children voted for chocolate, 5 voted for strawberry, and 10 voted for vanilla. How many is that all together? 4 plus 5 is 9. 1 plus 1 is 2. 29 children voted. What fractional part of the children chose chocolate? Well, how many chose chocolate? 14. Remember, this means out of. 14 out of total number 29. Multiply. Okay, so we're going to start multiplying by 3-digit numbers. And they didn't say, I don't know why they didn't really explain it in the directions, but they want you to do an expanded form. And I'm trying to decide. I don't have my teacher's book home. So let's do the expanded form on this one. 7 times. Now, in 82, there's the 8 and the 2, right? So if we're doing these in expanded form, the 8 isn't worth 8. It's in the tens place, and it's worth 80, right? And the 2 is in the ones place, and it's just worth 2. Okay? So if this is one way to multiply these bigger numbers, I'm going to show you both ways to do this, and one of them will be the way that they want you to do it on this particular assignment. So we write this in expanded form, and then we do 3 separate, easier multiplication problems, and we add them up, okay? So the first one we do is 4 times 200. So we do 4 times 2 with 2 zeros after it, right? We've learned how to do that before. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 2 zeros after it. Okay. Plus, now we're going to do the same thing to the 30. What is 4 times 3? 12, but 4 times 30 has a 0 after the 12, right? So 4 times 30 is 12 with a 0 after it, 120. Last one is just a 4 times 5, and 4 times 5 is 20. Now, in order to find the answer to 4 times 235, we add the 3 of these up. And they didn't give me a lot of room, so I'm going to add it up on scratch paper. 800 plus 120 plus 20. I think you could probably figure out how to do this without stacking it up like this, but just to be safe, I would do it this way. 0, 4, and 9. So the answer is 940. And that's actually a pretty cool way to do the multiplying instead of the traditional way we do it, which is putting the 4 down here and these numbers up here. And then you're doing the same thing. You're doing 4 times 5, 4 times 30, and 4 times 200. You're just doing it in a different fashion. 4 times 5 is 20, carry the 2. It's not all the carrying, see that's the difference. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 is 14, carry the 1. 4 times 2 is 8, and 1 more is 9. So you get the same answer, but they're going to present you with a few different ways to do things so you can decide how you like it. Okay? Now, 7 times 80. We do 7 times 8, 56, with a 0 after it. Now, if you need to get your multiplication chart out, it is on page 21 in your math journal, and you can always use those on these assignments, especially if you're checking your work, but also if it's just a fact that you haven't memorized yet. And then 7 times 2 is 14. So 560 plus 14, 475. 574. Okay, what is the perimeter of this rectangle? Now, they're going to ask us about perimeter and they're going to ask us about area. And those are on page 34 in your math journal. So I'm going to give you a quick reminder. Perimeter is the fence around the yard. Area is the grass. It's the yard, right? In order to figure out perimeter, we add up all the sides. So on a rectangle, we would add up 4 sides. In order to figure out the area, we multiply the length times the width. We multiply this side times this side. Okay? Get that one open if you need it. So, perimeter of the rectangle. Well, on a rectangle, if we know these 2 sides, then we know these 2 sides. The short side is equal to 3, the long side is equal to 5. Okay? So for perimeter, we do 3 plus 5 plus 3 plus 5. Also, we could do 8 and 8. And the answer is 16. Now they put the measurement on there for you, but otherwise you would write inches or you would put the little inches mark up there. Okay? Now area, remember, is length times width. So 5 times 3. And that is 15, and they wrote on there for you square inches. So if they didn't write that on there for you, you would have to label it square inches. Or if you'll remember, we do square inches. That's how we're going to do it in the future. Okay? Don't have to know that right now. Square inches. Because we're actually counting squares inside there when we're doing area, because we're counting the whole yard, not just the length around it. Number 5, Donna was born in 1953. How old will she be on her birthday this year? It is the year 2020. So we're going to subtract to figure out how far it is from 1953 to 2020. So can't do this. Bigger bottom, gotta borrow. Go to the neighbor, borrow 1, bring it back home. 10 take away 3 is 7. 1 take away 5, can't do it. Bigger bottom, gotta borrow. Go to the neighbor, can't do that. Go to this neighbor, borrow 1, give it to the neighbor. Borrow 1, give it to the neighbor. Now 11 take away 5 is 6. 9 take away 9 is 0. 1 take away 1 is 0. 67 is how old she is. 67. Okay, comparison symbols. Now we might have to do a little calculating on each side. We know how to do this one. It's 63 with 2 zeros after it. This one, we're gonna have to figure that one out. 4250 plus 2173. 7 plus 5 is 12. Carry the 1. 2, 3, 4. 4 plus 2. 64, 23. 1, 2, 3, comma. 1, 2, 3, comma. Okay, which one's bigger? 6,423, 6,300. The 6,000s are the same, but 400 is more than 300. So mouth eats the bigger number. Let's figure out these right here. 249, take away 163. 9 take away 3 we can do, but 4 take away 6 we cannot do. Go to the neighbor, borrow 1, bring it home. 14 take away 6 is 8. And 1 take away 1 is 0. So this side is 86. 827 take away 734. 7 take away 4 is 3. 2 take away 3. Bigger bottom. Gotta borrow. Go to the neighbor. Borrow 1. Bring it back home. Now 12 take away 3 is 9. And this side equals 93. Which is bigger, 93 or 86? 93. Now, 8 weeks or 54 days. Well, we have to figure out how many weeks this is or how many days this is, because we need to be comparing the same things. And it's easier for me to multiply this than divide this, so that's what I'm going to do. How many days are in a week? 7, right? Times 8 weeks is 56 days and 54 days. So that means that is bigger. All right, if you end up with a paper full of scratch work like I did, you got to take a picture of it and hand it in. If you have any questions on any of this, because there were some newer concepts in there, go ahead and jump on Zoom or email me and we will get it figured out. Talk to you soon.